I'm gonna call this one venting with boobie, right? So I'm only 17. I did the research. 17 to 20% of fathers win in the court case. That means that women win 80% of the time, right? Not cool. I fall in the 20%. I beat the odds. The judge gives me full custody after 4 years, $100,000 later. Cool. Now that the full custody is there, they're supposed to eliminate the child support. I just got my check. I'm still paying child support. It's crazy because when I called the lawyer now, the lawyer's like, well, they didn't submit the paperwork. And I'm like, what do you mean the judge didn't submit the paperwork? The judge is supposed to be the one that's supposed to submit the paperwork so everything can be finalized because she has the final say. Even when you win, you still lost because they still try to make it difficult for fathers in the court systems, even when there's beyond reasonable proof, beyond a reasonable doubt. And I'm still paying child support essentially right now to pay for her hotel because she's living out of a hotel. Which is crazy because that child support can go to her school. More stuff for her, anything besides taking care of another full-grown adult and her bad decisions that apparently accountability and responsibility doesn't play a factor in collecting benefit. So now the lawyer is like, oh, wait till April 1st. But I don't get reimbursed for none of this. It's crazy. I find it crazy because when it was anything that favored her, the paperwork was immediate. I got that order in the mail. I got it in the email the same day. Anything that pertains to my benefit or anything that pertains to my side, now you can't find paperwork. It can't be found. Now you gotta wait God knows how long. And I have a funny feeling that I'm gonna stay on child support because the whole last year I was primary custodian. Now I'm full custody. I don't know if there's a difference between that or whatever. It's finalized. It's been finalized. She was supposed to be paying me child support. And that's what the lawyer said. Is like, we don't even understand why you're paying child support because you have your child all the time. The court systems here are so corrupt. So corrupt. And they ignored everything that was detrimental to my child's well-being. Right? They go, mom kidnapped the child for 6 months. Dad had to hire a private investigator to find her. That should be alienation. Kidnapping. Right? No consequence. All right? Mom is in a homeless shelter because she ran out of a stable household with no bills or responsibilities. Put herself in a homeless shelter to stroke her ego. She doesn't need a man. Right? But then put our child in a more compromising position in the environment as an autistic child that's not conclusive for any type of anything positive. Judge goes, that's all right. She's the mom, no accountability, no responsibility. Dad, while she's in the homeless shelter, even though she kidnapped your child and put herself there, you pay child support, right? She moves out of the homeless shelter, moves across the street in a fucking worse neighborhood. Crackhead across the street. I took a picture of that. Judge, not enough evidence. All right, judge. She's not documented. She's an illegal immigrant. Nope, that's not enough evidence. All right, judge. She has never had a stable household. She's always lost her household. She's never had a job. She never finished high school. Minimum high school diploma. Nope, not necessary. Let's not look at that. All right, judge. There's 369 registered sex offenders, a lot of which are walking distance. Nope, that's not credible evidence. All right, judge, she's an illegal immigrant, undocumented. Nope, that's not enough evidence. All right, judge, she doesn't have no transportation. She doesn't even have a driver's license for emergencies. Nope, don't even look at that. Not enough evidence, right? Meanwhile, right, they're sending CPS to my house, and I don't even have the child when my child was kidnapped. Like, it's crazy because anything that held her responsible or accountable, or to even be looked at as, hey, these could be compromising positions that she put herself into that would affect our daughter, completely overlooked. Dad, we gotta look further into you. Dad, you might not be suitable. Even though you've always had a stable household, you always worked, you always had your shit together. You have transportation. Vehicles with an S. Right? And then it's like the court systems are so goddamn corrupt. It's like men are punished for being fathers. And women are rewarded for being shitty mothers in a court system. Because men have to literally fight to be a father. It took me 4 years. 4 years and $100,000 to be at this point. Lawyer, child support. They kept increasing the child support. And even now, all her bad decisions with the child support, she's living out of a hotel and she's still being rewarded child support and contributing nothing. I'm just venting here. And I just find it crazy because the court systems always favor the woman. I did the research. 17 to 20% of fathers actually win. I fall in a small percentage of fathers who actually win and beat the system. But a lot of men fall in that larger percentage of the system because a lot of men don't have the same resources I was lucky to have. If I didn't have a decent job, I wouldn't be able to afford to keep fighting. I wouldn't be able to afford it. And it's crazy because when men try and they fail because they don't have the resources, that mother turns around and just says he's a deadbeat dad for not fighting enough. Because that woman's ego is more important than that child's well-being. If they just separated themselves from their emotions and looked at the better benefit of that child, you can see in every aspect a father being in a child's life is detrimental to their development as an adult. But the court systems say, and it's crazy because I think it's systematic oppression. The court systems want to separate the father from the child so that child fails. Because if you separate the child from that father, right? If you look at the statistics, single mother households, their children have the largest incarceration rate. So hey, look, if we just take the father out, that child is more likely to get locked up. We can make more money off of him. Hey, look, if we separate that child from the father or whatever, then that child is going to have these alcohol problems. We can make more money off of them, more drug issues. We can make more money off of them. Systematic oppression. So we're going to tell the women and we're going to incentivize the women to separate the father and then give her child support, give her welfare, give her EBT, empower her, tell her you're a strong, independent woman, and then we're going to make that child our capital that we're going to capitalize off of when the child is older. And the women are like, hooray, we won. We won, single mom. Single mom. It's not a flex. If you look at the numbers, it's not a flex. The highest failure rate with children are single moms. And it's not like I'm like shaming women. I'm saying it hurts the kid because the court systems are ones that incentivize this, and the women are ones that eat this shit up. Easily manipulated, thinking that feminism and independent, strong, independent women, I don't need a man to take care and raise my child, I can do it by myself, is somehow a badge of honor. And then fathers like me have to fight to be in our child's lives. Some fathers don't make it. I got lucky. I had the resources necessary. I had a job that was accommodating, that said, hey, look, we understand how bad it is to be a man in the court systems. We understand. Don't worry about it. Take this day off. Hey, look, I got you. I'll cover this shift while you go to court. Hey, look, you need this, you need that. They held me down. But not a lot of people have those type of jobs or benefits. And I just got lucky to meet the 20%. I think, honestly, there has to be a reform in the court systems pertaining to fathers being in their children's lives. Now, I get it. There's some deadbeat fathers out there. But that's a small percentage. A lot of the time when a woman talks about a deadbeat father, she only talks from her perspective. But if you ask that man his experience, he'll give you a different story from what that woman said. That nigga's never there in his child's life. You ask that father, it's like, yo, I've been to the house. She moved from that house. Hey, look, I tried to call her. She changed her number. Hey, look, I don't have enough money to be fighting in the court systems. That nigga a deadbeat. Hey, look, I just want to see my child. It's crazy because a lot of women would get to separate the father from that child, right? And then get in a relationship with a man, and some random man has more access to that man's child than he does. And then that relationship never ultimately works out. So the child has more access to a whole bunch of different men than their biological father. Isn't that something? Women empowerment, feminism, strong. I don't need a man to raise my child. Ego. I don't know. I'm just venting. I've been through it personally. It's been years. So now I gotta go back. I might have to hire another lawyer to find out why they're not taking me off of child support, and I have my child 24/7, 7 days a week. I'm full custody. But even when I win, I lose because I'm still paying child support. Fuck it. And you know the thing I'm mad about is that money could go into a college fund for her, to buy her property, to buy her land. Now financially, I've already adapted to, you know, not caring about $1,500, but an extra $1,500 a month for my child, life changing. But that just means I have to work twice as hard when the mom does nothing, right? To make up for all of the extra shit. And lucky for her, I'm a hard worker. So, life a boobie.